in Lakeland, Florida. Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez coming at you next. Texas A&M is going to be playing Temple. Todd, these two teams fought long and hard to get here, and I like both these teams. I like what I've seen out of them. A hard-fought game this morning from Temple.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Temple. I like what they did this morning. I like the way that they were playing the field. You know, triple stacking guns in the back center and just gunning dudes down, standing in the wide open.
Which is risky, but they made it happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Time and time again. So, you know, that's my favorite when you have these open flag stations over here with no back center bunker, you know, directly in front of you. So, I mean, it's risky, but it's definitely exciting to watch. It's exciting to do if you're out there, you know, just living behind your gun and then making smart secondary bumps. And, you know, that's what we saw from Temple this morning as they took down Kennesaw State, who was another team that I thought was playing well watching them yesterday. We haven't actually gotten a chance to see, well, I haven't gotten a chance to see as much out of Texas A&M. But, I mean, they're a solid team every year.
Texas A&M is playing awesome. And the thing that's interesting about Texas A&M is they only have 6 guys. So they're running with a real skeleton crew, but getting it done.
Yeah, and they did that last year, too, huh?
Yeah.
They only had like maybe 6 or 7 guys. But, you know, it's going to be tough out here. You know, it was heating up in the afternoon, but the clouds came back out here over the lunch break.
Oh, looks like a bad start for Texas A&M for this first point. And that's going to get a couple of their players pulled and a major penalty assessed. So that's only going to leave 2 left, I think, maybe even 1. So it looks like 1 player left alive for Texas A&M. Disaster strikes early for them. And
that's going to open up the door for Temple to come over here into the snake. There's nobody going to be able to stop them.
So easy first point for Temple.
Yeah, definitely not the start that Texas A&M was looking to get off to. So they definitely went way before the horn. 3 of their other teammates didn't. But you're allowed to tag up. You know, if you bring your gun up too soon, you can just reach back and tag up, but they were kind of like already committed to it, so they just kept going. When instead they should have just went back to the flag station.
Thus assuring their death as opposed to giving it a shot at least to come and tag up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting a really rough start here to this first game, of the afternoon bracket, and free point there for Texas A&M. This game is brought to you by BKIPaintball.com, run by a good friend of ours, longtime professional player Grayson Goff, and it's basically like college for paintball. You want to learn about paintball, you want to get better, he can definitely help you. So head to BKIPaintball.com. World champion Grayson Goff from San Antonio X Factor has been helping lots of players in all levels. So look at this replay here. So that was the Texas A&M side. So they got a real good start. And then you can see the confusion over here on the, I'm sorry, for Temple. Texas A&M got a bad start. Temple got a great start. And Texas just looked a little confused there in the beginning of that one.
Yeah, and here's that player, trying to get out to that wide Dorito side corner and able to do it. And there's the start. As 2 of them started early and just kept going. They just like, oh, well, I guess we better break out. But Temple gunning up hard towards that Dorito side.
And, knowing how Temple played against Kennesaw State this morning and how well they did, you don't want to throw any free points away.
No, definitely not. And this is the quarterfinals here. So, it's win or go home from here on out. The referee's down in the field right now. Still talking to the coach.
Well, I think Texas may have been maybe trying to plead for a restart. Maybe they felt that they didn't hear the whistle clean enough.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no penalty. The referee threw the red flag, but they're going to pick it up. Because I don't think anybody was cheating.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody get shot. I think it was just more of the standard, oh, whoops, we got a bad breakout, and we didn't want to go back and tag up.
Maybe initially thought because the guys had continued to shoot, with that fast start instead of just pulling them out. So they're going to pick that flag up, but it is 1-0 in favor of Temple. And Texas A&M going to get a restart over here now. Let's pretend like that first point didn't happen.
You got to shake that one off, man. Got to shake that one off.
10.
A lot at stake here in this match. This team's fighting to progress here in this event. Temple's on the bottom of your screen. Texas A&M on the top. See if Texas A&M can get a solid start. So good clean break for both teams. And Texas A&M getting out wide there on the D side, getting some penetration into the yellow zone. So the Aggies, looks like keeping 5 players alive. Temple also some penetration in the center for them into the yellow zone as well. No one in the snake for either team, and here comes the move towards the snake side. You're looking at the D side players for Texas A&M. There's that back line. Just made a move over into the snake.
Temple loses 2 bodies. They lose their center tower player and their first snake attacker. So just 2 bodies left alive for Temple, the back center and the Dorito side can. As Texas A&M gets a body up in here into snake 2.
Yeah, and you can see the body language from the Texas A&M players trying to get this point back here, and it looks like they will. So it's some more Temple players walking off, and then a quick flag run in to tag up on the base. And it looks like we have ourselves a tie game. That's the Texas A&M that I saw before. You know, it was interesting, too, because they have a pretty deep roster of players through the different divisions. So, you know, we're watching A-ball right now, and AA, that's just standard 5-man. So, Todd, what they would do to practice this format to get those reps in and get their cardio up, they would just throw the different lines of the 5-man teams that they had and just keep running points, you know, game after game after game after game in order to harden up the 6 players. They, you know, again, they're only running with 6, and it can be tough when you only have 6 players, especially in this Florida humidity. So check out this breakout here. Clean break from both teams and a little bit more aggression up the center off the break for Temple, but it did not pay dividends for them. Lost too many guys out of their spots like that. As Moore gets tapped out and he gets an extra one in the back of his neck walking off. So 8 minutes and 28 seconds to go here in the first half. And Texas A&M players spilling out here to play this next point.
Texas A&M.
Chronoing on. So the referees chrono everyone's gun, making sure it's within the regulation limits. And here comes Temple. About 30
more at Cabbage.
About 23 seconds to go before the start of this next point.
Maddie, I think we might get some rain here shortly.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to look that way.
Definitely not mad at the clouds coming out here. It was a little bit of a cooker earlier. It's definitely going to help out Texas A&M if it cools down a little bit.
I was talking to
6 guys.
Well, I was talking to them earlier on, and I was like, hey, man, 6 guys, it's not a lot. And he's like, yeah, but, you know, we're used to this heat and humidity thing. We're from Texas. And I'm like, yeah, good point. So here on the breakout, good breakout on the center and on the D side. Texas A&M already in the 50-yard line, and I do not think Temple knows he's there, and bodies dropping everywhere from Temple. I think it might be just one body left in that back center. So another strong point here. Potentially take the lead. Yeah, so nice work, Texas A&M. Strong push up that D side of the field. And Temple now is going to have to go back to the drawing board. 2 points in a row for them. Getting shot out of their bunkers and just getting beat by Texas A&M.
Texas A&M did a good job of shooting the Dorito side. You know, both of those last 2 games here. The last point, Temple tried to play that blind zone on the outside of the Dorito side can and then got shot trying to secondary out to the corner. This point, he got shot just running straight out to the corner and not shooting those bodies on the Dorito side like they have been doing. Texas A&M running out to the Dorito side corner, making it out there. So A&M definitely winning the breakouts right now. And here's Moore again trying to come over the top. He gets shot. He's going to come out and catch a couple extra. There's Boucheri for Temple. He gets shot out of that snake side can.
So now 1 point lead for the Aggies. See there the eye in the sky, different sections of the field. Blue, yellow, and red. And Todd, we're starting to see a little bit more, it looks like more game plans are being set to attack that D side now. Seeing less teams trying to make moves over here, snake side.
Yeah, you know, there's just really nice running lanes, you know, with those see those two big red towers right there? Those block a lot of stuff off. You can actually go around the outside of the snake side can and go directly up into that big Dorito, you know, that inside big Dorito. The big Dorito also blocks off the lane to run to that small Dorito. But, you know, there's really good shots. You always, you know, there's a direct shot in on the Dorito side corner. So if you know he's going there, or you can recognize by his body language that he's going there, you can put a stream right in his landing zone. But I really like the shots just on the inside, turning around and shooting the guy going to the can right away. So, you know, I think that those are the other than shooting the guy running to the Dorito side corner, that's your best opportunity to get that guy quick. If somebody goes in there tall shooting, you definitely have the shot on him. And Texas A&M right now just doing a better job of what Temple was doing this morning, being more patient there in the back center.
Yeah, you can see there's Temple doubling up that back center. And now we're looking at the D side over the shoulder of the back player. And Temple, more conservative breakout for them, better field position for the Aggies, but the Aggies lose a body in that center. Still 2 players left alive for them towards the D side of the field. And there's Moore again hugging his bunker. Things getting tight for Moore. 7 minutes, 13 seconds to go.
Boucheri able to get into the snake too for Temple.
I really liked how Boucheri was playing that snake for Temple.
Yeah, he's playing it really patient, you know, really smart, not trying to force his way in there. You know, making the move once all the guns shifted towards the Dorito side.
Well, you have to play that snake. If you want to play it well, you have to play it methodical. You have to be smart. And as we were talking about Boucheri takes one in there, getting shot cross field.
So now here comes A&M up into that tall tower on the Dorito side and up through the middle. Temple trying to fight out of that Dorito side can in the back center. They lost one body on the break.
Callan up into the snake, into the red zone for the Aggies. They also have the center 50.
Yeah,
so the Aggies looking real good right now, Todd. 3 points in a row here. After that really bad start they got, they shook that off and have come out to score 3 unanswered points so far. And Temple just struggling here. They're not doing the things that they were doing this morning.
No, definitely not. They're just not hitting those shots on the break.
Yeah.
And the thing is that A&M is doing to Temple what Temple was doing to Kennesaw. You know, they're just getting the shot in first, you know, hitting that first guy, and then being more patient on the fill. And right now, that guy for Texas A&M is just turning. He's getting that first kill, and he's not feeling the pressure back on him from that blind spot. So here you see Texas A&M player getting shot out of that tall tower in the center. And here's Boucheri coming out, getting shot in the left arm. That's why you shoot left-handed.
Yeah.
Come out and expose that left arm like that.
Yeah, a little sloppy technique there.
Fundamentals are huge.
So score is now 3-1. Texas A&M over Temple. 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go. And we'll be right back after these messages. So welcome back. 34 seconds to go before the start of the next point in this first half. And Temple just not able to hit those off the break shots. And after that really bad start, the Texas A&M got first point. It's just been all Aggies and really doing a solid job of pushing up on that D side of the field. And, you know, there's 3 stages to a paintball game and to a point. There's off the break. Can you get all your guys out to your spots, and how many players can you shoot? Then you have to get to your bunkers, and then you have to figure out how many people do we have alive and how many people have we shot. Then you want to make your secondary moves, and then as that third act starts, that's essentially, you know, that's closing the point out. So Aggies doing a good job at all 3 parts of the game right now.
Yeah, and the Aggies, once again, they don't get a kill on the break off that Dorito side, but they do get out wide. And they also get 2 bodies in position over here on the snake side in the can and that inside Temple. Temple University, they get out wide to the Dorito corner. They're in the outside big Dorito in the center Temple.
Aggies doing a real good job of staying gunned up, Todd.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure coming from the Aggies right now, and what we mean by that, staying gunned up, putting the pressure on the opposing team, it's simple. You know, that's how much, you know, are you winning those snapshot battles and exerting your dominance so that you're able to shoot a lot of paint, put a lot of pressure back on your opposition, and the Aggies are doing a real good job of this right now.
And they're staying alive, rolling their guns. Temple here finally able to play with their 5 bodies, and just as I say that, they lose their front Dorito player, and A&M takes off and fills his mirror up there in the outside Big Dorito. 2 bodies in the Big Doritos now for Texas A&M, and they're just really gunning up over here on the snake side, and they're going to shoot one out of the middle.
Starting to win some gunfights. Temple able to make it into the snake though, and that's Boucheri again, but Boucheri gets shot pretty much immediately after he gets in there, looking at too many guns. And looks like the Aggies only losing 1 body. So another solid point. That's 4 in a row, Todd.
Yeah, so after that kind of flop point they had there in the beginning, they've come back and ran 4 straight points off on Temple. Temple finally had an opportunity there, but, you know, just getting outplayed right now by Texas A&M.
You can see there's Boucheri, and he's going to jump over the snake, dive over, gets in, and as soon as he gets in, he guns up cross field, but they saw him make that move and dropped a shot right in on him. But at that point, I mean, there's not much he could do.
Yeah, here's that move from A&M.
See, that was a smart move. He ran towards the first bunker using it as cover, and then once he got to that spot, quickly bumped over to the outside.
Cutting out across them, both of them just stood there tall and pounded that center tower of Temple and just gave him nowhere to hide. Boucheri's coach was like, hey man, it's gonna get real small in there for you real quick. You might want to get out of there. That's why he took off, tried to get a shot on those dudes across the field, but unable to get anything out of it. So 4:22 left to go here in the first half. Texas A&M kind of putting the hurting on Temple right now.
Yeah, this is the point where Temple needs to put a point on the board, slow that momentum from Texas, keep it close. Temple sends their next line out. And here comes the Aggies. Again, you know, the Aggies rolling with that skeleton crew, just 6 bodies. And but doing such a great job. And it's a tough thing. If you guys don't have your cardio up, then it's going to be an issue, particularly in this heat and humidity, even though it's starting to get a little cloudy here. But on the bright side, if those guys can find a rhythm, then you're getting tons of reps. So you're getting them in that zone. So here we go.
Yeah, A&M looking like they're in the zone right now. Let's see if Temple can stop this run.
Temple rippling up that center in that open area and able to get all 3 guys. Oh no, one of them did die. So now 4 bodies left alive for Temple.
I mean, the guy keeps running there. You know, you just have to hit him. There he is right there again in that Dorito side corner, making it out alive.
Hey, if they're not stopping you, you might as well keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
So Hall out wide for the Aggies. Ryan Hall. And now Ryan Hall's trying to make a move up here. Here's Boucheri making it to the 50-yard line for Temple. This might be a problem for the Aggies. And Boucheri listening to his coach, Albertini, who's right beside him. Oh, but more bodies dropping for Temple in the center. Temple is just, Todd, not able to stay alive in their spots.
Yeah, A&M is just beating to the punch on the Dorito side. You know, A&M, they're shooting bodies, definitely getting that early body advantage, and then just closing smart. You know, once they have that advantage, you know, they start communicating, set up the move, and they're definitely the first ones charging down the Dorito side right now.
Yeah, nice move by Callan to finish off and Boucheri here in the snake.
As you can see, you know, once you control that Dorito side, you know, it sure makes getting over here into the snake a lot easier. So Temple, you know, the A&M is doing to Temple what Temple again was doing to Kennesaw State this morning, just winning the battle on the Dorito side early, playing slow and patient on the snake side, and then once you have control of the Dorito side and the gun switch, then you make a smart move into the snake. I mean, Boucheri's getting in over here, but there's not a whole lot that he can do once the Dorito side is all dead, you know, or you lose a guy out of the back center. I mean, if you're Temple and you triple up guns on a guy that's running and not even shooting back at you, and you don't hit that guy, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Temple can pick it back up, because I was really expecting a close game. Like we talked about, you know, watching Temple beat Kennesaw State really proved to us. I felt Temple would at least thought they had potentially what it could take to give any team a game out here. But the Aggies are just starting to run away with this one a little bit. Still a lot of time left. We got a whole second half, 3 minutes of this first half.
Oh yeah, and that's what's great. You know, all it takes is a little momentum switch here, and you know, a team can go on a run. You know, whether it's somebody gets hot or you know, a team gets a penalty. You know, there's all sorts of different things that can happen. But right now, Texas A&M definitely dictating the tempo of this game. Shooting who they want, moving where they want, basically getting whatever they want.
When they want.
When they want it.
Mm-hmm. So Temple just they haven't been able to get into a rhythm. And again, that is the positive side of only having 6 guys, is it's very easy to get your guys into a rhythm if things are going well. Mm-hmm. And Temple just hasn't been able to find that rhythm. It's kind of a little bit off in their gunfights. The moves could be a little bit crisper, a little bit more well thought out. And Temple losing another body off the break.
Yeah, he just ran directly into those paintballs.
Make that 2. Just 3 players left alive for Temple. Aggies drop 1. Uh-oh, referee running in though. And when that happens, sometimes look for a penalty anytime the running ref comes in. And no, it's clean.
So A&M once again eliminating bodies on the break, and here they come down the Dorito side. Slow and patient over here on the Snake side, playing that can heads up. Temple with a body in the back of Snake 1, the Dorito side corner in the back center. Texas A&M up in that 50 Dorito, center tower inside Big Dorito.
And again, that Dorito side looking to be the dominant part of this field here. Oh, a lot of big bunkers to work with over there.
Yeah, it's definitely kill or be killed over there on the break. Looks like that 50 Dorito player
that doesn't have a
Texas
loader.
A&M doesn't have a loader on his gun.
Texas A&M, he's getting screamed at by his coach to go over here on the Snake side. Finally makes a huge move. And I think there's only 1 player left alive, back corner bunker on that D side of the field for Temple. So that's another point for Texas A&M. Making this one look easy, Todd.
Yeah, it's putting the whoop stick on Temple right now.
It's always tough, man. If you're getting shot off the break, it would seem simple. Okay, yeah, stop getting shot off the break, but it's a hard problem to diagnose sometimes. That's when you have to kind of switch things up.
Yeah.
You know, if you get one guy who's consistently getting shot, doing a specific job or shooting from a specific place, you know, there are limited amounts of places you can go in that center off the break in order to get shots. I mean, there are definitely some variables, but it's a big, wide open area.
Yeah. I mean, when that happens, you know, and guys are basically executing your game plan against you, you know, you just kind of want to match up, or, you know, if you're not making it out wide, you know, send a guy up the center. I mean, they tried to send a guy to that Temple, but the route he took, you know, wasn't very good. You know, if I was Temple, I would have ran a guy directly up the middle towards, like, shading towards the Dorito side, trying to get a shot on those guys that are filling out for Texas A&M.
So with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go before the start of this next point, which will most likely be the last point of this first half, we're going to be right back after these messages. Stick with us.
Introducing M-Dry, a new fabric technology integrated with the Contact F5 jersey. M-Dry is engineered mesh fabric designed to breathe more, increase airflow, and decrease moisture. M-Dry panels are designed for spatial distribution of heat and moisture by a hexagon pattern that's woven into the lightweight fabric. The ventilation is a design gradient so the hotter zones breathe more and regulate airflow, making the Contact F5 the most comfortable, lightweight, and breathable paintball jersey available that keeps the player cool while heating up on the field. Available at empirepaintball.com.
Just under a minute to go here in the first half. It's been almost all Texas A&M. I mean, really, other than the first point, which was a gimme for Temple, because Texas A&M got a really bad start. It's been just all Aggies. So let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lauren Kelly.
Thanks, Maddie. I've been standing down here in the Temple pit, and things are pretty unorganized. They can't figure out who's going to go out next to play the next point. As you just saw, they got a minor going into this point because one of their players walked onto the field before that last point ended. So they're having some problems on the pit that might be causing the struggles you're seeing on the field. Back to you.
Yeah, and that's a tough one because are there on-field issues affecting the organization in the pits or vice versa? So whatever the reason is, the effect of it is that they're just getting beat up right now.
There you have on your screen, number 27, Texas A&M. Playing heads up at that snake side can.
You can see moves being made on the D side right now for the Aggies. They have a back player, that's Hall again, and playing out in the open. What you can do, you know, the bunkers are just there to hide you from paintballs. So you can use bunkers that aren't necessarily close to you to block out the opposition. So nice work by Hall to work his way up. Get right next to his fellow player there on the D side. Still 5 strong for the Aggies. And that's going to do it here for this first half. What an amazing first half for Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's really executing.
And who knows what would have happened if they had got a good break in that first one. I mean, we could see a shutout right now.
Yeah, right. There's Morales walking off the field, Texas A&M.
Do you see any concrete criticism you could give to Temple right now? I know they're losing a lot of bodies off the break, but
they're just not hitting their shots. They're not hitting anybody on the break.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're doing the same. Both teams are running very similar game plans, and it's just Temple isn't hitting their shots. I feel like, you know, it's the same exact shots they were doing earlier. You know, they're just not executing right now.
Well, I also feel that they're not putting enough pressure on. I know that's tough because if you're down a body or two, but you know, when I look over at Texas A&M, they really look comfortable in their bunkers. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like they're being pushed around. And then every time I look over at Temple, they're getting pushed around.
And there you see Frayne right there, getting shot in the leg from Temple. But yeah, Maddie, honestly, I just feel like Temple's not hitting anybody on the break. You know, of all these points, I can't think of more than maybe 1 point to hit somebody on the break.
Yeah, maybe one.
You know, and it's not like A&M is running out and diving into spots, you know, necessarily. They're standing in the wide open, doing the same thing that Temple is trying to do. So,
well, let's check it with Lauren. She's down with Joe Cody from Temple.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm here with Joe Cody. Now, that was a rough first half for you guys. During this halftime, I've heard your coach, Ben, saying, find the heart, find the heart. What do you think you guys are struggling most with?
Right now, they're just the way the Texas A&M is playing. They've been playing great all tournament. We're struggling to get guys out wide. They have a bunch of guns up the center, and we're just struggling to capitalize on opportunities that are appearing to us.
Did you scout them before coming into this match?
We actually played them in prelims. We lost 6-5 in overtime Friday. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see if they can get some points here going into the second half in 2 minutes. Thank you.
So again, this game brought to you by BKI Paintball. Go to bkipaintball.com. Basically, you know, it's run by Grayson Goff, world champion from San Antonio X Factor. And if you want to get better at paintball, that's definitely the place to go. There's tons of drills, videos you can watch. He does live spreecasts with guests that come on to discuss the game and its intricacies. So definitely head to bkipaintball.com if you want to upgrade your game. So we're going to be right back with some more second half action here. Stick with us. We are a minute and 16 seconds away from starting the second half here. Texas A&M beating up on Temple right now. We're going to throw 10 minutes on the clock. See who's going to win this game. Temple has to get something going, man. They are getting really beat up pretty bad at the start of these points. And they definitely need to go back to the drawing board as far as where those players stand at the beginning of these points. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She's down in the Texas A&M pits.
Thanks. I'm here with Garrett Wheat. You guys took a huge lead in that first half. You are up 5 points going into the second half. Now, Temple did give you a run in the prelims where you went into overtime. Coming into this one, how did you change your strategy and your play against them to get such a significant lead?
To be honest, we don't. We kept our same game plan for the most part. That was our first ever Class A event. And so nerves are all into that and stuff. And we didn't really know what we were getting our heads into. We got penalties. They got penalties, a penalty-ridden match. But really, we know what it takes now. We know what X-Ball is, and I don't think they can stop us.
So what did you figure out yesterday playing those matches that's making a difference today?
Breathing a lot. Yes, we were very flustered and just running everywhere, and we were playing well, but we were out of breath. By the second half, I wanted to throw up, but it's all about breathing, keeping your composure.
All right, we'll see if Temple can get any points here.
So on the breakout here, 3 guns up, heavy guns off the break for Texas A&M, but it looks like they do lose a body, lose 2 bodies. So here's the chance for Temple. Temple loses a body as well, though, too. 4 on 3. Now Temple has a little bit of an advantage. Let's see if they can actually get something done with it this time.
Yeah, Temple, not that it should make a difference because you should be skilled with both hands. But, now Temple coming over here, mostly dominant right-handed players, shooting right-handed towards that Dorito side. Maybe that may make a difference for them. But right away, finally getting some kills on the break. But A&M, they don't look rattled at all. They look comfortable out there as they have the back center, the big inside Dorito, and the mini race on the snake side. The Temple player that got shot on the break, he actually got out alive and then, just kind of was unsure of where he was going to make a secondary bump. And then kind of ran up and then backwards and got shot. So that's the only body that they've dropped so far, but they do shoot another Aggie.
Well, and Todd Brady-Chin now in the snake into the yellow zone for Temple. So good field position. And you see the coach trying to call a cross-field kill there. So it looks like Temple might get on the board again. Their first point since the very first point of the game, which was basically a gimme point because Texas started before the horn.
Yeah, Maddie, and, no lead is safe out here. With 10 minutes to play here, we've seen lots of 30-second points. Temple, one of their players, getting their gun checked right now. 4 speed, but, sometimes a half makes a difference. Go back, collect yourselves. And,
now,
the coach getting pretty fired up.
Well, now we're looking at a 4-point game here, which is, it's possible. You definitely can score 4 points in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But this field's playing a little slower than some other fields that we've seen, other layouts here at the NCPA championships before. About a minute and 15 seconds before the start of this next point. See if Temple can mount a comeback.
Texas A&M, if you're in their pits right now, be listening to Temple.
Parental advisory.
Just shut it off when you come to the net. Yes, please. 7, Ben. Yo. Go get to 8. Huh? Too soon. 8. Okay.
So if you're A&M, you definitely just don't want to take your foot off the gas.
Yeah, and
don't change your game plan. Just keep pumping along how you've been playing.
And just keep focusing on getting those kills on the break and then executing after that. But even if that's not coming, they still, I really like how they're gunfighting. I love the pressure they're exerting. They look very calm and locked in their gunfights. Because when we say, you're probably thinking, okay, well, shouldn't somebody be gunfighting a little bit more fiercely? And sometimes yes, but to be honest, the more calm and composed you are in general, the easier it is for you to think in this game is one with your mind. So, and it really looks like Texas is putting those moves together nicely, and you can just tell they're very composed. But at this point, they've played a lot of points coming into this match, running with only 6 guys.
Here comes Temple on the breakout. They're going to go short on that Dorito side, send a body up the middle.
Sean Casey
Doesn't look like they get any kills on the break on either side. So Texas A&M out there wide in the Dorito corner. Dorito side can, and A&M going to be the first team to drop a body out of that snake side can. 5-on-4 advantage right now. And A&M brought Brady Chin in. Boucheri wasn't getting it done over here. So Chin has been playing, he's played the last 2 points here in the snake for Temple. See if they can get some production out of him. He comes into snake 2 and guns up across the field. Looks like he might have gotten a kill right there.
Yeah, Albertini, the coach for Temple on the sidelines, is just joysticking Chin down the snake.
Oh man, that was a close one. He put a heater right by that Dorito side can. And now Moore coming up the middle, Chin coming into the 50 snake.
Yeah, Moore's in good position, Chin's in good position. They also have a player at the 50-yard line on the D side. Looking real good, stacking another body up there. 5 players alive for Temple. This is what they needed, Todd. A couple points in a row, start to get themselves back in this match, and most importantly, slow the momentum and mentally of Texas A&M.
Yeah, and here comes, see this, Temple, they have 5 guys, or 4 guys now spread across, and Moore, looked like he almost got clipped coming across the center. He definitely did, but it bounced. But you don't want to attack individually, you know, when you're closing out games. You know, be smart. And Temple right now sending bodies. But Chin stepping up big for Temple right there, getting into the snake, being a presence.
He did a really good job of listening to his coach. You could see the coach, Albertini, talking to him constantly and letting him know all the information. And that's how you have to play on that snake side. It's a tough side. Your coach is right there, though. There's no excuse for you not to have all of the information you need to get the job done.
And there was that first shot, the first body to drop from Texas A&M. And then here's the finishing move, coming down the inside and bunkering out that last A&M player.
Might want to go left-handed next time on that.
I would.
Probably should hit up Grayson at BKI paintball. But still, get it done. Doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it gets done, and Temple is starting to get back in this match. Down by 3 right now, 6 minutes and 22 seconds to go, and we're going to be right back. Stick with us. And we are back here, 2015 NCPA Championships. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly before we get to this next point.
Thanks, Maddie. I was in the Temple pit during that little break there, and it was funny to me because a lot of the guys were coming off the field and all wanting breaks. They were all tired. So they were having a disagreement about who was going to go in because many of the players who have been playing are tired. And their attitude, though, has completely switched around. Going into this second half, you could see that they were pretty down about the point spread. Attitude seems to be lifting now that they have gotten some points and they are making a comeback, but they got 3 more points to see if they can tie it up. Back to you.
Well, I would hope that many points would definitely start to shift the momentum in your own mind for sure. But it is a good thing for Temple. Temple's a little bit deeper than Texas A&M. So maybe that, Todd, this is when they should need to start, pumping the gas themselves, sending their fresh bodies out and hoping those guys, they got enough juice to take on a tired Texas A&M team.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're playing a team that has, limited resources on the bench, what you really want to do is, play those long points. Don't give them an opportunity to get back in, and change out really fast. Yeah, if you play a lot of points, that's definitely exhausting, but it's more exhausting to be out there for a really long time and then have to come back in and go out and play another really long point, So if Temple wants to put the pressure on A&M a little bit, you know, don't give them anything free, which they've been doing these last couple points to get back in it, and then, you know, kind of draw out the games, go slow, you know, and be a little bit smarter on your closeouts.
Yeah, and also, you know, when fatigue sets in, it really also is a positional thing, because the guys that are on the D side running around a bunch over there and constantly doing, you know, when you're in that bunker, you're constantly doing squats over and over and over again. Or if you're in the snake, you know, it's a very, you're exerting a ton of energy in there. But if you're playing a back stand-up, just shooting your gun and yelling, it's a little less fatigue causing. So, and with Texas only having that one extra body, they're going to have to pick and choose who they sit, because, you know, they need to preserve this lead. They looked really good in the first half, but they're letting Temple get back into it. So don't know if fatigue is the issue, or maybe Temple's finally just stepping it up and playing like they did to get to this game by defeating Kennesaw State this morning.
Or, you know, we'll see how this game ends here. 6:22 left to go in the half. A&M with a 3-point lead right now. Maybe A&M, if they end up beating Temple, they may just be, you know, one of the favorites here with this performance.
Yeah. So Sean Casey getting shot. Uh-oh, this is not what Temple needed right now. Sean Casey gets shot and walks off. I don't think the penalty was on him, though, but a penalty was assessed. It was a major, so that means 3 bodies come off. The guy who got shot got the penalty, one of his buddies, and then Casey from the center. So just 2 players left alive right now for Temple. This is Texas A&M's chance to increase their lead. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the second half. You can see that clock on the penalty starting to tick off. Minute 36 seconds left before Temple gets a body out of that box.
Yeah, Temple, they're definitely going to want to try and burn this penalty off here and not let A&M go on a run.
Well, those
playing
are the
5-on-4.
Those are the 2 players that are stuck in that center towards the snake side in that blue section. And here comes Texas A&M making their moves slowly but surely. Again, they also want to take as much time off, though, Todd. I mean, win this point, but win it slow, because now you're up by 4. And yeah, so now they're going to be up by 4 points with right around a little under 5 minutes to go. That's really tough. You're talking about minute and 20-second points.
Yeah, and, you know, the way that A&M's been playing, that's definitely going to be tough. Temple, they're going to need to start shooting a lot more bodies on the break. We saw it, you know, a couple times, but more of a dominant performance over here from A&M with their on-the-break shooting. We have this replay. Here's that breakout for Temple. Temple losing their guy going up the middle. Not a real fan of that run right there, but then they got that penalty. And then here was Chin all by himself there at the end. And he's going to get grilled up.
So yeah, not enough. And, you know, this is the worst time for Temple to get a penalty. Starting them out and come back. They lose 2 bodies on the break. One of them plays on, gets that penalty, which cost them this point. And also because it was a major, still 46 seconds left to go on that major penalty for Temple. And now down by 4. So Temple is going to be playing down a body, and they still have to play aggressive. They don't have a lot of time working with here.
No, definitely not. You know, they're going to need to start putting some quick points together. They're going to get back in this game. But I definitely don't think it's from coming up and across into that big center Temple. Seen a lot of teams use it out here. Haven't really seen A&M go there very much, though. I like the fill out, too, from the back center to this snake side Temple, the small one in the yellow zone. You know, you have similar shots from the can, but with that pin right at the 50, you can't shoot direct shots onto the outside of the mini race bunker from the can. If you get up into that yellow inset Temple, you know, you can control the entire snake side of the field, and you're a lot more protected from the Dorito side. If you're up in that tall tower, then, you know, we've seen a lot of players get shot in the back as soon as the charge down the Dorito side came.
So now on the break, just 4 players on the field right now, and it looks like another, I was going to say, it looked like maybe another penalty for Temple, but no, he got shot and the referee pulled him off. They're trying to double up that back center now. Need to get one of those bodies out of there, hopefully towards the snake side. One of them does come out of there, but he comes out of there by getting shot. Another one dies too, and It's not looking good for Temple again.
Now on Texas A&M, just charging hard into the snake. Over here in the inset, Temple on the snake side, one in the back center, and now up into the 50 Dorito, and that 50 Dorito guy quickly gonna shoot that last Temple player. So nowhere to hide for Temple out here right now against Texas A&M.
Gonna try to come out of the box and get torched. Knew that was gonna happen. You could tell by his body language. He's like, okay, I'm about to get shot a bunch of times. So very solid performance here by Texas A&M Aggies.
But at least Temple's back to full strength now.
Yeah, and I don't really see any holes in the Aggies game right now. The only thing, again, is just because they have such a skeleton crew that as we get deeper into this tournament, that might play a factor. But at the same time, like we've been talking about, that lets your guys get in a groove. Yeah. And Texas A&M definitely finding their groove right now.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, there's not a whole lot of holes in what we're seeing out here right now. Basically getting whatever they want. You know, they're shooting bodies in the break and then making smart moves. They're making really good fills. You know, it's a roll of the dice, but, you know, on that break, if you can stand there in the back center and not, you know, feel that pressure to, you know, have to hurry up and make a bump, you know, and just be calm, comfortable, then there's a lot of stuff you can do back there.
Well, we're going to find out if Temple can mount some sort of comeback here. Not a lot of time left. 8-3 is the score. We'll be right back. Under 20 seconds to go before the start of this next point here. The second half between Texas A&M and Temple. And a dominant performance so far by Texas A&M Aggies. Looking real solid here and might want to call them one of the favorites. I mean, we'll see. You know, we have more games coming at you. Long Beach played very well this morning when their win against the Huskies, University of Connecticut Huskies. Penn State, though, was undefeated heading into this tournament. And then also we're going to see Purdue take on University of Central Florida Knights. And then we're going to see the Liberty Flames play FAU to close the day out.
Texas A&M once again just ripping Temple apart on the break. Temple just nowhere to go. A&M loses the body out of the back center. Here comes the attack down the Dorito side. Getting into that big Dorito on the outside. He's going to wrap around. He's got a Temple player in his mirror. Temple elected to take the snake corner on the break. They got out here wide. So they got a little bit of a spacing, but they lost a couple of their inside guys. Temple also with the player in the Dorito side corner. Looks like 3 bodies still left alive. And here comes Chin on the move out of that snake side corner. And now coming into the back of the snake. Now going to go up to the 50, but gets annihilated before he makes it there. So just as he turns the corner, he gets blown to bits. And A&M, there's Callan. He gets into the 50 snake, and he starts to go to work across the field. So Temple with just 2 bodies left alive. A&M with a good spread over there on the Dorito side. And the only body on the snake side of the field belongs to A&M here in the 50 snakes. So trying to get a shot in on that big Dorito. Also the guy in the corner. Coach right behind him, telling him where to shoot,
yeah,
where to look.
Slowly but surely, time ticking off here. Now big move coming down the D side of the field. Nice bunker move down there. And it looks like Temple will concede the point, which is going to make that score 9-3 with 1:52 to go.
Yeah, not a whole lot of life in Temple left over here.
Yeah, the beatings will continue until morale improves. Really thought we'd see a closer game than this. I thought, after that game that we watched, because I thought Kennesaw State looked pretty good. Temple came out, beat Kennesaw State. So I was thinking coming into the afternoon bracket with Temple taking on Texas A&M, I thought we'd see a different game here. But, that's how you start proving yourself and making a name for yourself, is do what Texas A&M's doing right now.
Yeah, just dealing. Yeah.
Those off-the-break shots are just on point right now. Yeah, beautiful work. You can see their action on the D side of the field, that big bunker move. And then it was Moore, last player left alive for Temple.
There you see the A&M pit.
45 seconds.
Yeah, now we actually have Lauren down in that pit, so let's listen in.
I am in the A&M pit, and when that point ended and the guys came off, they said it's time for their story time play. I asked them what is a story time play, and they said sit and wait. So going into this next match, you're going to see A&M just get into their bunkers, sit there, and stay alive for this last minute and 52 seconds. We'll see if Temple comes out with an aggressive play, but either way, looks like A&M is going to take this one. Back to you guys.
They call her story time play, that's the hold play?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see some epic run up the center, get yourself a good story so later on you can have story time and talk about how awesome you are.
It's kind of funny, we were talking about codes up here, the different codes that people scream for stuff like Moorhead or Maverick or,
Rocket.
Something, whatever. And, story time is definitely a code that Tampa Bay Damage uses that was taken from Team Strange back in the day. You'd always hear the Strange guys yelling story time, which
So is a Strange
means
call.
the same as, like what we used to call lockout, right? Because not only does it sound like lock it up and, hide, but it was also lockouts kind of style of play, the old 10-man team lockout. So story time, definitely an old Strange call. But it's funny that, a Texas team is going to have
a Florida team's call, yeah.
You see a lot of West Coast teams using, the divisional teams using, the codes that we would use on the Ironman.
Yeah, or dynasty codes.
Yeah, so.
It is interesting how the codes are a regional thing.
Yeah.
All these different, there's so many different spots, and to make it really easy for you to identify those spots, instead of saying, hey, second Temple on the D side of the field, you just say Apple or something like, depending on whatever your code is. So it just makes it really easy for these teams, these players out here to identify which bunker they need to shoot. Make that communication as simple as possible.
So Temple come back here, not giving up. And they fight till the very end. And they're going to go hang that flag. So Temple definitely not throwing in the towel here. Come back, going to put another board on, or another point on the board against A&M. But
yeah, Todd, that wasn't a very good story time point then for them.
No, maybe they should have actually sat down and told some stories. But no, they went on the attack.
So,
and 33 seconds left in the game. This is going to be a 9-4 ball game.
Or are we going to see some sort of crazy last point here?
I hope
it's
so.
Possible.
I don't think Temple is the type of team that's just going to go out to their bunkers and sit there and let their tournament end like that.
For purely just simple entertainment value, I do hope that we see a double X play, run up the center.
You're only going to send 2 guys to the X?
I would send all 5.
That's more like it.
Again, this game brought to you by BKI Paintball. Grayson Goff, world champion from San Antonio X Factor, has a website that basically can help you upgrade your game. You want to get better at paintball? Go to bkipaintball.com, enlist Grayson services and his other roster of pros.
Yeah, and he always has like cool interviews, with different pros or other random good-looking cool people like myself. I did an interview with him one time.
Sweet.
And we talked about coaching paintball, and it was pretty cool. Got on there. They do spree casts with he and Scott Kemp. I was on there with Nick Sloviak one time.
It's not even just the actual pure paintball skills, which is obviously a huge component of it, but they also have fitness drills for paintball, and just anything you need, pretty much anything you need.
I didn't see the fitness one. Skip that week. But no, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of free stuff on there. You can also get a paid membership and get some extra benefits. But you got to call Grayson to find out. Go to bkipaintball.com. See what it's all about.
All right, so is this going to be the last point? Most likely. 30 seconds left to go. And here comes 3 bodies heading towards the center. One gets shot. One makes it all the way. The other one stops early at D3. But able to make it up to clean. So Woody finally gets shot out. So Temple not going quietly, but with just 10 seconds to go, this game's over. And Texas A&M will take the victory and move on here in this event.
Yep, that's going to do it. There's the final horn. Texas A&M going to make it to the semifinals, the round of 4.
Yeah, beautiful work by the Aggies today. Moving on to the quarterfinals. And just a dominant game by them. You know, dominant game. Temple never had an answer for Texas A&M.
No.
And it really did come down to mostly that off the break shooting. You know, the start of the point, whip those guns around and get a couple kills, and very consistently Texas A&M, those Aggies, they were able to get that done.
Yeah, they played really smart.
It's tough to win a game when you're playing 3 on 5.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Temple. You know, I like their coach and you know, their program over there. But you got to give hats off to Texas A&M, the way that they came out here and, you know, really pushed Temple around from start to finish.
Well, before we head into this next match, let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She's down with Ryan Hall.
Thanks. This is an amazing story for you guys. You came into this match this weekend kind of the underdogs. A lot of people were saying you're a AA team, you shouldn't be playing Class A, and you are the first team to go undefeated and make it into the semis. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. All the hard work we put in through the whole semester is paying off. All of us have been practicing 3 days a week. Most of us haven't spent one weekend in College Station. It's been practiced at some field somewhere every single weekend.
Well, that proves that hard work pays off. Next up, after this break, we're going to have Penn State versus Long Beach, so stay tuned.